Today I want to speak to you not as a teacher or a researcher, but someone like many of you start a journey with limited means, sometimes even no means, but limitless dreams. When people ask me where I begin, I smile, not because the journey was easy, but because every setback, every step, every difficulty shaped the story I'm proud to call my own. My name is Dr. Illahi Bux. I'm working as an associate professor of linguistics at the University of Sindh, Jamshedpur. I began my journey in Camber Government Primary School and then Government High School Bagodero. There were no fancy resources, no shortcuts, just a chalk, a blackboard, and sometimes no chair, no desk for a student like me to sit. That was the time I stumbled. I doubted myself that was I meant for academic life. So some doubts were from word and many were from within. But one thing was very good about me was I kept going. Yes, I stumbled. I faced rejection. I failed as many times as possible. But that failure of my life was a fuel, an invitation to grow. And I learned something that no textbook could teach, fail forward. I began my career as a lecturer at Las Vegas University of Agriculture, Water and Marine Sciences, where I worked as a lecturer of English for almost 10 years. And that was very difficult and challenging part of my academic life because I was first time away from my family. And but I, as I said, I kept going, and I had the courage that one day I'll be back to my hometown. And then I struggled a lot to get hired at the University of Sindh as a lecturer or any other position. But that time was quite challenging in the sense because selection boards are always competitive. I mean, let me tell you that I failed not once, twice or thrice, but 5 to 6 times I failed in the selection board. It doesn't mean that I failed because there was no merit in the selection board of University of Sindh. However, I believe that other candidates were more competent than I was. So they could get the place than I could. But however, I mean, despite that struggle, I didn't get frustrated or depressed. I continued my struggle. I continued my efforts to get hired at the University of Sindh. And now you can see that I'm at the place that I desired to. So all of us sometimes succeed, sometimes fail, but we can use that failure as a stepping stone in our life, because failure is not a stop sign, and it should not be considered as a stop sign. All of us have different dreams to follow and dreams to achieve whatever they desire, but they need to have the process. That is something they need to have a faith in the process to achieve something. So what you can do and write your own story is you need to have a faith in the process. Of course, you actually fail at certain stages of life. This is very common. You take it as a part of a process. You do not get rejected. Of course, you see rejections. You meet, encounter rejections, humiliation sometimes. But look at that, my journey from Camber to Las Vegas University, then University of Sindh, and then even I moved to Institute of Technology, Bangkok for 1 month fellowship, and then later on I had opportunity to go for another fellowship of 1 month at University of Oregon, USA. So and recent my visit to People's Friendship University, Moscow, Russia. So this all journey could be summed up that struggle always pays. Struggle strengthens us. Sometimes we, of course, get upset and we stay, depressed sometimes. But that could be thought as a part of your process. So now I represent my work internationally. I have published my research in top journals with impact factor. And now I'm privileged to teach, supervise, and inspire researchers and students who actually have a same story like mine. So if you fail forward, and you are the one who is going to write one's own story, because we can't be someone else's version of a story. We all have a different story to tell, but what we need is only courage to tell that story. Of course, that journey, the journey of life is difficult, but each journey is also rewarding too. So we need to believe in that actually process, that yes, there is always ease after each hardship. So every stage of my life, I observed, evaluated that there are more people to evaluate your personality, your performance. Once you succeed, you have 100,000 calls to receive, and you actually receive many congratulations. But once we fail, we hardly see people approaching us. But the case with me was entirely different. When I failed in different selection boards for university position, people used to call me in order to encourage me that yes, one day you will get it. But I thought that was something that they reminded me that I could not make it happen. I could not succeed it. So once I succeeded in different selection boards, and now I'm here at the Institute of English Language and Literature, that hardly I received calls for congratulations. So you need not to worry about the attitude of the people who are very close to you, who approach to you. So your journey of academic could be difficult, but at the same time rewarding. I remember when I was a student at the University of Sindh, where our classes were surrounded by more competent students who had trusted resources, more access to reading material, and they were more fluent in classrooms. And sometimes I doubted that if I was meant for academic life. Even very speedy lectures by our worthy professors, and they started from Anglo-Saxon to Chaucer's Canterbury Tales and Spenser's Fairy Queen and John Keats' Odes, which could not make any sense to me for 1 or 2 weeks. And then I decided that that's not going to work for me. However, I had no option. I reminded myself that if I go back, what will happen? So there was no alternative for that. And then I was determined to achieve what actually was difficult for me. So I was back to restart my journey at the Department of English. Now it is Institute of English Language and Literature. So that was something there. I was not always at top of the class. I, of course, struggled with the exams. I could not understand speedy and unstoppable lectures of worthy professors. Even failed in one or two subjects. However, that failure could not stop me. So I happened to write my own story, and that was the time I reminded myself that this is the story I'm going to tell, and that story can reach the world. So any one of you may begin a story from a small town or a village, but that story can reach the world. What you need to do is only courage, consistency, and faith in the process. The day will come and you will tell your story, because you were born to tell that story. No one can tell that story. So failure is an invitation, another actually form of success, which can lead you, which can guide you to a roadmap that you haven't taken. I believe all of you have a potential to succeed. You are gifted with different qualities. But what you need to do is simply to determine that quality where you are best at or good at. So once you decide, you can achieve what you want to achieve in your life.